Jerry Taft, Realtor and Personal Real Estate Corporation, based in Invermere, BC. Let's talk about some real estate statistics. So looking at April 2025, we've got the numbers in. So for month of April, there were 45 firm sales, which for the same month last year is actually down, which is a bit surprising. So 51 sales in 2024. But those are firm sales. So technically it's saying the number of sales are down 11.76%. But I can tell you from my experience on the ground, it does not feel like the market is down. Activity has been very busy for the month of April. After a bit of a slowdown, people being unsure of what's happening in the world with tariffs and with the economy, with interest rates, with the federal election, right around the beginning of April, it seemed to really pick up. And there was a lot of interest, a lot of activity. But I believe a number of those deals, I know a number of my listings, a few of my buyers, they're still conditional. So they're not posted as firm sales yet. So I suspect we will see the firm sales really bump up for the month of May. And what's also interesting is that the number of new listings in April was also down. Inventories continued to be kind of tight with, again, not a ton of options. But we have seen in the last few weeks more listings. So we finally have a few homes in Windermere, finally have a couple of single family houses in Invermere. So the selection has improved. Inventory is increasing. There's a number of homes for sale in Edgewater, but a number of those new listings already have conditional sales on them. So when you look at year to date so far, we're at 159 sales this year compared to 152 last year. And again, it'll be really interesting to see by the end of May how the numbers stack up. But I've also seen in other years where we have a flurry of activity and then things slow down and we kind of have these waves. So overall, my sense of the market is it is busy, it's active, it's balanced. It is, if you're a buyer, there are actually more options to look at right now, a little more selection. And if you're a seller, if you're priced at a fair price, at a reasonable price, there is activity. But I would say that things are still a little bit uncertain, is depending on what happens over the next couple of months. We could see a rush of sales, or we could see a slow, steady activity. And over time, it'll be really interesting to see what happens and how much of a consistency we have, or do we have these waves of busyness and slowness. But overall, I think there's stability in the local market in Invermere and the Columbia Valley. People want to be here, both for full-time living. We're seeing a lot of locals who are actually first-time buyers getting into the market, locals upgrading to a bigger property, sometimes getting an acreage out of town, and then a steady flow of people from out of town looking for cabins, looking for retirement options, looking for condos and investments. So there seems to be a healthy balance between all the different property types and all the different buyers, so there is not one segment that is overwhelming the market right now. And overall, I think that's healthy. In the past, we've seen when there was a rush of Airbnb investors, or there was a rush of people moving here to retire and selling, homes on the Lower Mainland. And right now, we're seeing a little bit of everything. So in an uncertain world and uncertain times, having a bit of balance and having a little bit of mixture of buyer types and property types, I think actually means that this is a stable area, and overall, it'll be very interesting to see what happens next. But if you're looking to buy or sell, happy to have a conversation and give you my honest perspective. Thank you very much.